Jim Domen is an author and founder of Church United. Growing up, Jim noticed he was attracted to boys instead of girls. After years of fighting temptation, he eventually came out of the closet. While living the homosexual lifestyle, the fun and freedom he hoped for was short-lived. When Jim eventually hit rock bottom, he cried out to God for help. In his book, Not a Mistake, Jim shares his journey to finding his true identity. He also provides biblically based resources for families and individuals dealing with LGBTQ issues and questions.
And we're very glad to have Jim with us now. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Andrew.
Jim, your book, I was really struck because, I'm not in the lifestyle you're talking about here, but I would presume in reading your book that people in the LGBTQ lifestyle would find you and your book a friend. I mean, it's written from a standpoint of love and to seek to help people. Tell us a bit about your childhood. You grew up in a Christian family. What was the dynamic like?
Every family is dysfunctional, Andrew, but my family was probably more on the functioning side of issues. We had no drama, no drugs, no alcohol, no abuse. My dad was an LA County sheriff, my mom a librarian. So it's kind of your all-American family.
Mm-hmm. You started to feel a little different, though? Something was not...
Yeah, junior high, I'm like, why am I drawn to men and attracted to them sexually, and didn't know what to do with that. Tried to pray, read God's word, knew it was wrong.
Did you ever talk to your parents about it?
No, I didn't talk to anybody about it not until the 10th grade.
So you, I don't know if the word is struggled with it yourself, but you kept it inside, tried to deal with this process on your own.
Correct. It was all internalized for 7th to 10th grade when I finally shared with my youth pastor, hey, I think I might be gay. I think I'm a homosexual.
Okay. So at what point did you share it with your parents? Were you already active in the lifestyle when you brought it to their attention?
No, I was a virgin, 10th grade, and had shared with them at his recommendation. I said, Mom, Dad, I'm struggling with homosexuality.
And having other guests on who have had similar stories to yours,
Sure.
They have said that, to the person who's coming out or sharing this secret, so to speak, they processed this for years, but to the parents, it's, pretty immediate. Now they're on the spot. So
Sure.
How would you counsel parents who are being told something like this by their son or daughter?
Whatever your children tell you, love them. Love them through it. Hear what they have to say wherever they are in their journey with God, whether walking with Him or not, love them through the process. And that might be hard, but what I see from prodigals that return to home are parents who establish healthy borders and love their children consistently through that.
Mm-hmm. So you shared with your parents. Your lifestyle progressed, though, in the gay community. So what was your life like during those years?
So that was at the age of 23. I decided I wanted to love and be loved and went into the gay lifestyle. Came out in Portland, Oregon. Trying to meet men all over the place, and my parents weren't aware of my activities until about 1999 when I had shared with them. My mom had asked me, son, you're acting really strange. I moved back home in Southern California. She said, you're avoiding us, you don't talk to us, you're never home when we're home, what's going on? And I said, I met someone. And we were at the kitchen table and with my dad and mom, and she said, is it a man or a woman? And I said, a man. And she just started crying.
Where was God in all this for you personally? You're living this lifestyle. You grew up in a Christian home.
Nowhere nearby.
You believed in Him. You believed.
Yes, I knew the truth, but I just kind of said, God, I want to love and be loved. You're going to be over here. I'm going to do what I want to do. And He gives us that choice. We can choose Him or not Him.
So what happened? Did things spiral out of control for you? Were you left in heartache, or was it joyful for a season?
It was incredible. It was actually what I thought freedom was, because now I got to live out sexually what I'd been struggling and battling internally. For the first few months, maybe year, it was blissful in a way, and then reality hits in. The unhealthiness. Men aren't designed to live with one another and be intimate with one another. That wasn't God's plan. People don't want to talk about that. It's unhealthy. Physically, the act of sex and such is very, very unhealthy. It's detrimental to people's health, let alone psychological well-being. But the world doesn't want to talk about this. God just says, His plan is for a man and a woman. And despite that, I knew those truths, but I'm like, God, I'm going to do this.
You're going to live the way you want to live.
Correct. I'm going to live the way I want to live. Mm-hmm. I'm gay, hear me roar kind of an attitude. And as I told my parents, hey, you know what? Get with the program. And if you can't have my partner over, how dare you call yourself Christians. You don't know anything about Jesus. And I just was completely awful.
Let's just go there for a second, because I believe it was in your book early on, you talked about how, in the gay community, there's great acceptance and an embrace of, friendship and things. And in the church, if someone living that lifestyle shows up, that's hardly what they're receiving. How detrimental is the church's traditional response to someone in that lifestyle?
Well, the community said it was called family. We'll take you. All the weirdos, the people that don't fit into that box, we'll accept and love everybody. And in that community, I'm like, shouldn't the church be like this?
Yeah.
And when I came back to the Lord, I wanted nothing to do with the church, because I wanted to be Jesus with skin on to a lost and dying world who desperately needed him. Now, that was 20 years ago, this past June. So the church has grown immensely. And I like to think not only my voice and other voices like us in the former community, former LGBTQ people, have better helped equip the church how to love people who are in the lifestyle, struggling and trying to walk with Jesus, or those of us who have actually come out of it and living rightly.
What about the charge that the church has embraced it too much?
That's heresy, simply put. You can embrace a sinner. Jesus embraced sinners all the time. He hung out with sinners. There's a point when you start saying sin is okay, is when it becomes heresy.
What brought you back to God? I mean, you heard a voice or saw someone living a particular way?
What brought me back to God was it was circumstances. Between my partner and I, we got in a fight. He said, "I'm kicking you out of the house." I said, "No problem. I already have an apartment. I'm already moving out." And he filed a restraining order, which was totally unjustified. I've never even struck an individual in my life. And then he took all of our money in our bank account and shifted it all into an account with his name only. And literally overnight, I had nothing but the clothes on my back.
And at that point, probably the last thing you thought you'd experience was a wife and 3 kids.
Correct. That was not what I was thinking.
So how did that come about?
I laid on the floor. I said, "God, I'm yours again." And after that, he started doing miracles. And, I was a singles pastor for a while and dating different girls on pastoral staff. And kind of the joke was, what girl is it this week? And, I was respectful, but wanted to, see what was out there. A lot of the good ones are already taken when you're in your 30s. And I just had decided, you know what, God, this is, I want to follow you in your kingdom, and this isn't going to be my end goal. I'm just going to be single. And through a divine mistake, which the book talks about, I met my wife, married her 9 months later, and have 3 kids.
And the Lord's really blessed you through all this. And I guess one part of your book, as we begin to wrap this up here, it seems as if in your book you're saying it's not about someone being converted from homosexuality.
Correct.
Tell me what it is.
Yeah, right in the beginning of the book, I say, if you're thinking you're going to read my book and go from gay to straight, don't read the book. That's not what the book is about. The book is about my journey with Jesus, and I hope people see how I point to Jesus, that you can be healed, you can be transformed, your mind can be renewed. I don't know what an individual outcome will be, but I want to bring hope to parents and to the LGBTQ community that change is possible.
And you obviously in the book have great empathy for people in this struggle.
Absolutely. I mean, I was there. I've lived it. I've done it. It's funny, sometimes I'm called homophobic. I'm like, how can you be homophobic when you've had sex with men? That doesn't seem realistic. But I understand the battle. I understand the loneliness. I understand the issues of not feeling normal, not feeling like you fit in. And I want to bring hope to people.
Yeah. Final question. So for a parent who is facing this situation in their own family, what do you urge them to do?
I think my book would be really helpful. Pray for your children. Pray and fast. My family and in-laws, or sister-in-law specifically, fasted for me. And I attribute that why I was only in the lifestyle for 5 years.
All right, well, you can read more about Jim's story in his new book, Not a Mistake, which is available nationwide.
Hey everyone, I'm Ashley Key. Thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so we can reach more people with encouraging content like you just watched, and so you never miss a beat. See you next time, and God bless.